Do you remember that show called Home Improvement? It had Tim Allen it was his show, and he had a show in the show called Tool Time, and I think Pamela Anderson was on the show. But there was a kid, his son in the show. His name was Zachary Ty Bryan. He was a avid soccer player. He just loved the game, and he just really appreciated the game and found a way to assemble a team that ended up playing the national championships in Arizona. And I was watching them play, and it was heavy Hispanic team. I forgot where they're from, but anyways, they came in. They represented the region. Only 4 teams participated per age group, the way it should be, versus all these silly national championships. And they just invite teams. They have B-level national championships. That's another podcast. Don't get me started on that. But he shows up with his team, and his team's pretty good. And he's on the bench, and they play him each game. And he wasn't good enough to play. He loved the game, but his focus was, obviously acting and doing those things. So he didn't have 100% focus on it. But he uses money and fame and influence or whatever to assemble a team, and so he could win and compete, which is great. But it got me thinking. I'm like, that's American soccer right there. You find a way to stack your team, but you have to get a couple rich kids, a couple rich families that are going to dictate things and influence things as far as who gets to play. You see it everywhere. Who plays when you see a really good team, and then you see 1 or 2 players that are average playing, then you're like, well, they're funding the operation. It just, that's what it is. And it's not a good thing. It doesn't help soccer. It's just what it is. You have to have certain players. You got to obviously have talent, but you have to have those rich families that fund everything, because we are taught to, and the only way to compete is you have to travel and play and all this BS, which is garbage. Now, I've talked to these parents. I remember talking to a parent that I didn't offer his kid a scholarship or a spot in the team, and he was in tears, upset, and tried to influence things to, make his kid on the team or whatever. And I won't get into the detail of the story because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it's how embarrassing. Like, you're so warped in the brain that you'll do anything for your child when it comes to playing professional soccer or whatever. It's weird. It's gross. Just stop. Stop. You're wasting your money assembling teams and providing all this training and all this stuff. It's crazy when they're not athletic enough or whatever it might be. But if you wanted, if there's one thing you could do as a rich daddy or mommy, is teach your child work ethic. Get them up at 4:45 in the morning like I get up. Teach them how to get up early. Teach them how to take out the garbage. Teach them how to be a flippin' man or a female warrior. Find a way to teach them to learn that kind of work ethic at an early age. So when you try to get them to really develop in the game of soccer, it takes work, especially if you're not technical and you're not really engrossed in the game like the top players are. You want to manipulate things. Have soccer being played in your house. Use your money to fly to Europe and go watch Premier League games. It really indoctrinate your kid in the game of soccer. If you have that kind of funding, don't do what a lot of people do, which is being lazy. They just kind of buy a coach by buying things for them. Give them money to fund things to try to manipulate things. That's lazy. Just teach them work ethic. That's just number one. If you can teach your kid to not only have work ethic, but you teach them, how to be a good human, have them do service, and all these little things that really make a great human being, which so many positive things could happen from that. Even if they don't make it in soccer, at least you have a hardworking, good human being. That is more important than buying a flipping team, buying a couple of kids, paying for everything to make sure they have everything so you can influence your kid playing. That is American soccer right there. So I'm sure it's like that everywhere, but it's a problem. So I watched Zachary Bryan from that show Home Improvement play. And I remember watching him because I love that show, and I was watching him. I was like kind of starstruck, just kind of watching him, see what kind of player he was, and he was horrible. But he, even on the show, it talked about how he loved the game. He loved the game, which is awesome. So, but no one put him in a situation of actually getting better, which I'm sure if he knew the information, as far as how to manipulate the ball in such a way over and over and over again, you can develop technique, you can become quicker, you can become faster, and he would probably put in the work ethic, but no one showed him the way. But I can show you the way. It's very simple. This is how you get better. If you truly want to be a professional soccer player or whatever, you're gonna, number one, you better have work ethic. Okay, you better be a good human being. Hopefully you're athletic, but you can, if you put in the work, if you're manipulating the ball every day. And when I say manipulating the ball, I mean, you have to find a way to get the ball where it doesn't come off your foot. You have complete control. You don't have to look at the ground. But you have to manipulate the ball in such a way that you're learning off balance dribbling, so you will become quicker and faster. You have to do that, but you got to put in the work. I'm talking 2 to 3 hours every day manipulating that ball. That's all you're doing 7 days a week. And then over time, you will develop all these micro connections within your body that will connect for a lifetime, and it will make you quicker and faster. That's a guarantee, but you have to put in the work. You don't have a choice if you're driven that way, but you can't get your child to do that if you don't teach them work ethic. So have them get up early, have them do their chores, have them take out the garbage, have them serve the community. They need to work. That's the foundation of being great in anything, work ethic. So anyways, those are my thoughts on this wonderful Friday. You have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday when the Phoenix College Bears 2019 men's soccer team will unveil themselves at Ottawa University in Surprise, Arizona, with a 9:30 p.m. kickoff. Yes, 9:30, right before, I think that's night before school starts. So anyways, that's where I'll be. Have a great weekend. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.